Hello, this is Bridget Rao with Divine Essentials. Okay, guys, I'm waiting for somebody's private reading to upload, and it's a long one, so I figured while I'm waiting for that, I'll give you guys a couple of messages. It was funny at the throughout the reading, the spider kept coming up, like the web and all of that, and then I grabbed the animal totem deck to get some messages, and a real spider came running up over the deck. So Spider Totem is hanging out today with us, giving us some messages, but some of you may have some significance with that. I just felt like it may be something for you guys. Also today, the song "I Don't Wanna Be a Player No More" kept playing in my head, like nonstop. Like I just, it wouldn't go away, like that song. And every time I would stop thinking about it or stop hearing it play, and it would start again. And I'm like, what the fuck? You give me like an hour break, and then I'd be like, I don't wanna be a player no more. And look at that, Knight of Cups, Three of Cups just fell onto the floor. So, I feel like some of these divine masculines in the collective are thinking that they don't want to be a player anymore. They want to have something solid within their life. And the Three of Cups can indicate third parties, but it can also be a card of celebration. So some of them may be thinking about turning this element of having a wife or a karmic partner or maybe multiple partners into a time of celebration, taking all of this energy that's like all over the place and dumping it into the Ace of Cups for a new beginning. And they may be wanting to have some sort of approach, because the Knight of Cups can be Casanova, but it can also just be somebody that has love in their cup that they want to present. And the Knight of Cups is the one that actually presents it, he gives it. So I do think that they're at a crossroads. A lot of them are in this energy of thinking about that. Like, they don't want to play games anymore. They don't want to be in their karmic situations anymore. And that doesn't even have to be a third party. It doesn't, and some of them could be partying, and they may want to put an end to that lifestyle. Maybe they're getting a little bit older, or maybe they're just not liking the energy that they feel when they're out, partying up and having fun. It's not always fun the next day. So some of them could be getting into that energy of just trying to make a decision at the crossroads as to what they're going to do, and maybe even changing their mind as to what they think a good time is. I feel like there's a level of maturity coming through with some of these masculines. Not all of them. I know some of you are dealing with masculines that aren't at that point yet, but I do think that there's a majority that are at a crossroads in their life as to where they want to be making their love offers, and maybe wanting to put an end to these elements that have been detrimental towards having love in their life. The Magician is here telling me that they have all these tools at their disposal for a passionate new beginning in love, but they also have the ability to communicate something of value and worth. So this energy that we're in with Aries is supposed to help people to end karmic stuff. And judging by the messages that I've been hearing today, and then the spider and all of that, it's like, I feel like this web is being woven through their transformation, and they're wanting to put an end to some toxic things in their life. And again, that's going to be different for everybody. It's not always going to be a karmic partner. It's not always going to be one thing over another, but anything karmic in nature, I think they just want to kind of charge out of there, make some sort of decision in becoming the Magician and using the tools that they have at their disposal to become somebody of value. And for some of them, that means they want to become single. They want to be single. They want to separate from their wives or their partners. They want to become separate from, alcohol or drugs. They want to separate themselves from the things that have held them back. And they're wanting to embody that Magician energy to find that value on their own individually. So I feel like what will happen for a lot of people is that those who've been being juggled, or those who were being juggled in the past, or the people who were juggling multiple aspects in their life, they're going to embody this energy, and they're going to put an end to the juggling. It may not mean that they come right into union. They may have to be in this single energy for a little while so that they can heal, and so that they can, release the energy and the karma that was associated with it. But I do feel like Spirit is pushing a lot of the divine masculine collective into that. And so even the divine feminines who have like we all have masculine energy, if you have any karmic or toxic things that you're holding on to, you may be feeling like it's time to transmute that stuff out. If you have some people in your life or some addictions in your life, whatever it is that's been toxic, I feel like you're actually going to be doing this as well. So there may be like a little time where you're both in this single energy, working on your value, working on your worth, and probably observing each other as well. You know, maybe looking at each other for keys on how to continue to grow, and if it's even worth doing things within the connection. But I think spirit is guiding. Okay, so spirit is guiding people to make these decisions, and if you're not making these decisions on your own to change, I feel like spirit's really coming in and shaking things up to put an end to anything that's been karmic or toxic in nature. So whatever it's been, I feel like there's just going to be this purging happening, and you may be even observing this within each other. You may already have seen things that are happening now that you're like, wow, that's a big change. Or you may be even observing things that are in your life that you're wanting to change. You could be looking at some of the patterns or the cycles that you've repeated over and over and over, and realizing like, wow, if I wasn't holding on to this thing about myself or that thing, I may be in a different place at this point. But I do think that there's this element of wanting to put away anything that's been juggled, that's kept them from being in this individual, unique energy with a higher perspective, and then using all of these tools that are there. The magician has all of these things available to them to make the right decisions and to put an end to these things that have been toxic in their lives. And on the bottom of the deck is the King of Pentacles, which is, you know, somebody that's done their work. They've worked hard to find their value. They have what it takes for union, you know, to become somebody that makes that commitment. So it is there, you know, the energy is there. So let's see what's going on in Divine Masculine's head, what they're thinking about. We have the Seven of Wands and the Four of Swords. So I think that some of them are actually in this place of meditating and contemplating on the energetic work that they have to do. They may not look at it as work, like in the energetic sense, but they may be looking at things that like, I gotta get to work on this in my life. Like they're really contemplating on making changes, whatever communication you guys may have had, whatever lack of things that have been happening in your connection, whatever work they've been putting off. I feel like it's in their head and they're thinking about how to start taking those action steps to make changes that are going to bring justice to their life. So some of them may be thinking about divorce. Some of them may be thinking about breaking up with somebody. Some of them may be thinking about putting an end to certain relationships with friends or family, going into a detox, you know, depending upon how toxic or how karmic something is in their life. They're wanting to have that karmic scale come into balance. So they're really thinking about how they can work on those things. And like I said, it's going to be different for everybody, but they are thinking about having a new beginning. And I feel like a lot of them know in order for that to happen, they have to get into this place of balance and they have to do some work before they're going to have a fresh start somewhere that leads to healthy energies. You know, they've been beaten up. Spirit has kicked their butt. They've kicked their butt. And I think it's given them a lot of strength. But now they're finding the strength to get into the chariot so that they can charge into their life and have a new beginning, take that leap of faith with their Queen of Pentacles. So we've seen them in the King of Pentacles energy. Now they're thinking about their Queen of Pentacles. So they know that she has value and worth. They need to have that same value and worth. They need to have this balanced energy between the two of them so that they can take that leap of faith that actually leads them to something stable and strong that gives you guys that energy of union that we just saw for like the collective energy. So there is a big death transformation happening within the collective, and I think things are starting to turn into a new direction, and they are thinking about their partnership or their soulmates, their twin flames, wanting to put an end to anything that's been detrimental. So let's see what Divine Feminine has in her headspace. She has the Seven of Wands in reverse. So I feel like Divine Feminine feels that she's done her work, you know, and then here's the Devil. So she could be thinking like she doesn't want to do any more work on toxic stuff, or that she just like may be afraid of doing some stuff too. I know a lot of Divine Feminines have been questioning like, was this person my twin or was this a karmic? Some of you are in karmic situations, some of you guys are married, so it's like you may be, wanting to do the same thing that the masculine's thinking about doing, but I actually feel like a lot of you've done a lot of it, okay? A lot of you have already done the work that was required to heal anything toxic or karmic in nature. And so maybe you're feeling or thinking like, I'm sick of doing work. I've done all this work. It hasn't gotten me anywhere. I'm still left out in the cold. Like, is this ever going to amount to anything? Why aren't I getting any offers? Why like the Page of Pentacles is in reverse. This is about an offer of stability, and I feel like you haven't gotten this from your masculine. So it's like you don't want to do any more work. You're aggravated, you're angry, you're upset. You're like striking, like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want my commitment, and I'm sick of feeling defeated. I'm sick of feeling like I've got all these daggers in my back. How much work can I do before I get my new beginning that leads to victory? You're thinking about the passion that you have for your masculine, but you're wondering why it's not amounting to anything right now. Like, why are they still where they're at? Why hasn't union come? Like, I've been doing all this love. I've been practicing all this self-love. I know this person loves me, that we're supposed to be together. This is my divine partnership, but why the hell hasn't it come yet? What aren't I seeing? So I think that a lot of divine feminines are getting frustrated and having a lot of conflict in their head, and there could be some illusions, or you could be having dreams about things, but it's like you're just questioning the foundation, and you're questioning this commitment. Some of you are questioning, is it a spiritual commitment, or was it something else? Is communication gonna come? You feel like you've been in this Nine of Pentacles energy for too long, and that all you've really gotten is Page of Cups offers, when you've been giving off Queen of Cups offers to somebody that hasn't really made any actions back towards you, unless it was within passion. So, this energy of things moving slow has got you kind of stuck up in your mind, but you still do wish for something. You just have anxiety about it. You're wishing for your Emperor. You're waiting for your Emperor. But some of you are like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to move on. I don't want to wait anymore. This person hasn't done their work. Why should I keep doing mine? And you're just thinking about balance. You're thinking about justice as well. So there is some mirroring going on, but I think Divine Feminine is pretty, I can just feel your energy. You're just like in this headspace of being upset. Not all of you, but some of you, like, your patience is running out, and I think sometimes you're fine, and other times you're just like, well, what else can I do? Like, I love this person, I've done this for this person, and here it is again. It's like you've done so much work, you kind of just like when's this work gonna pay off? So I feel like in Divine Feminine's head, there's just some conflict and some energies, and that's to be expected. So let's see what Divine Masculine may be feeling about the feminine. We have the Nine of Wands coming out. So he's beaten up, he's been bruised, but he's not giving up. And there's the Six of Cups. So it's like he wants to reconcile. He feels like he wants to reconcile. He feels like he doesn't want to give up on the connection. He's ready for the world to spin into a new direction so that he can have happiness. So I do feel like the Divine Masculines are feeling this energy. They're feeling like, they want to be happy. They want their world to change. We saw this in their head. And, we've seen that they've been beaten up, but they still feel like they'd like to reconcile. And some of them may want to reconcile with that inner child. Whatever parts of them that was like bringing out those toxic things within their life, they may be wanting to heal those parts of themselves, those secrets that they're holding on to, and not uncovering, so that they could turn things around in their lives and have happiness, so that they could start to, get out of this energy of being beaten up and start to manifest. I even feel like this is Divine Feminine energy, so it's like they really feel her in their heart. They're feeling her, they're thinking about her. Some of them are in the reflection mode, some of them may be a little bit depressed, but they definitely feel like this is my person that I'm supposed to be with. I don't want to give up on this. I want to do what I got to do to heal this so that I can turn this around and be happy. And I don't want to have these secrets anymore. And I feel some of them may feel Divine Feminine is keeping secrets too. That's been coming through a lot lately, where there's this element of them feeling like she's hiding something. But here's the Four of Wands again. So in the overall energies, we had the Four of Wands come out, and then here we have the Four of Wands again. So they feel like they would like to have some sort of union with their soulmate or their twin flame. but there's some secrets and there's some darkness that needs to be uncovered. There's some insecurities and possible depression, particularly for those, I feel like if any of them are like drinking or doing drugs or whatever, they could have a lot of depression or a lot of darkness and insecurities that they need to heal so that they can turn their world around and go towards reconciling. But I do feel like they're becoming aware of it, and they're maybe wanting to start to take those actions in that way. So let's see what Divine Feminine feels towards Divine Masculine. Four of Wands. So you guys are mirroring in your heart. You do love this masculine, and I feel like a lot of you feel like he loves you too, but you're wondering why he doesn't come towards you, or why he hasn't made his offer, or why you're not in union yet. But you feel the love for them. You feel like you'd like to have union with them. But you're also, some of you are in this Queen of Swords energy, so you're like, you don't know if you want to have union with them. And here's the High Priestess. So it's like you're trying to trust your intuition to guide you in this, but you do overall intuitively know that this is your person, this is your lover, this is where you're meant to be. You know, you may have cut them out, but in your heart, you're still holding on to them. And some of you may be feeling like you want to cut them out because they're not making any actions, or because they've been in the Knight of Wands energy for too long, where they're out there playing those games. They're still in that player mode. So you're like, I don't want this. I want my masculine to be able to show me his love without the insecurities. I want this person to make the decision to come towards me. And I feel like a lot of you are choosing to be silent now. You're not reaching out as much as you may have in the past, or you're thinking about ways to cut off the communication with somebody that may be kind of still in other connections or doing things that are toxic. It's like you don't want this anymore, but you still feel a lot of love for them. You feel like you would like to communicate with them. You feel like you just need to embody this Nine of Pentacles energy. I think a lot of you feel like you have been in that energy. And again, it's like, where's my communication? Like, why am I still alone? Why isn't this person talking to me? Where is my justice? Where is my Divine Masculine? You know, and I think there's a mix between the collective. I think some of the Divine Feminines are just getting into this energy. Some of you were already in it at one point, but regardless, at the core of your heart and in your emotions, you do love them. You do look at them as your Divine Masculine. You just want justice. You want truth. You want them to choose you the way that you've chosen them. You want them to be in this energy, single and ready to mingle with you, to see things from a higher perspective and to tune into their intuition and to trust the intensity of the connection that they have with you, and to not be insecure about the love, so that you can reach your Four of Wands, Twin Flame, 11-11 union. So let's see what type of actions Divine Masculine may take. We have the Wheel of Fortune. So again, there's a big phase coming to an end here, and I feel like they're the ones that are going to really be the way that this goes. So Ace of Cups is about a new beginning, and then Nine of Pentacles is that single energy, but it did come out in reverse. So like right now, I feel like their actions need to become more aligned with releasing themselves from the stuff that's holding them back from being the full embodiment of that energy. But I do think that they want to have victory, and they're going to start taking actions in their lives to reach victory, to reach that Nine of Pentacles energy, which is the one before the Ten of Pentacles, the one that takes the leap of faith into a commitment, or to connecting with that person that's their person, their loyal companion. So a lot of them do want a new beginning in love. But again, like I said, they're the ones that are going to dictate how this next phase goes. This can indicate a windfall of cash and abundance and happiness and all of that. But if your mindset isn't correct, if you're not looking at things in the right perspective, or if you're holding on to toxic things, you'll repeat the cycle. So I think the actions that they take are really going to be what makes or breaks them. And some of them may not get out of the energy that they've been in, but I do feel like a lot of them will get out of there, and they'll get into this energy. They'll start taking that leap of faith that leads them to wanting the new beginning, or like taking action on the new beginning, and then manifesting victory with their Divine Feminine. And I think some of them may do it a little bit faster than others because they've worked on that inner strength. So you may actually hear from them by the Lion's Gate. When I see the Strength card, I always connect it to that Lyran energy, and Lion's Gate's coming up. So if you guys have been planting your seeds, or you feel like they've been doing their work and they've been growing their harvest, I do think that some of you will have communication or union by the Lion's Gate, and that they want to take action with their Empress for union. So we've got this in their emotions and in their actions. So you may actually be coming into union with the divine masculine soon. Some of them are still holding on to ego victories, or they're still in the battlefields. There's still conflict in their lives. They may still be married, worried about losing out money or losing their family, still really caught up in their toxic energy. But I think that this next phase will help them to start to reconcile that and to not give up on manifesting their new beginning. So either way, there will be happiness, there will be changes and transformation. I just think it depends on who your masculine is and what they're connected to. But I think they're going to start following their heart and overcoming their insecurities, making the decision to choose love, divine love, and to communicate in a way that's going to bring justice, to start taking the actions to leave behind the things. So some of them may file for divorce, or some of them may already be single and then getting ready to mingle, getting ready to communicate with you, getting ready to bring clarity to the connection and leave behind the Knight of Wands energy that has been there in the past, or the energy that you may have already cut out. I feel like if you already cut it out, they may be, coming back around in a new way in the future. And for those of you who are thinking about cutting it out, that may start the process rolling for it, the transformation. So let's see what Divine Feminine may be getting ready to do. She has the Magician and the Hanging Man. So I think you're in this mode of you're just holding yourself back. You're not really sure what action or which way you want to go right now, but you're wanting to transmute. You're wanting to use all of the tools that you've worked on. You're probably going through another part of your awakening, learning and studying, growing and healing, figuring out your value and your worth individually on your own so that you can manifest the abundance into your life and the self-love that you need. So you're doing the work, even though you're pissed off about it. You're like, how much more work do I got to do? You're actually taking the action and doing the work so that you can manifest your new beginning and put an end to anything that's been kind of holding you back in life. You're letting the tower crumble so that you can rebuild in a positive way, and so that you can start to manifest your wishes coming true. Some of you may be getting into alignment with your soul mission work, because I feel like anything that's been connected to the ego, it's you're letting that die. You don't want ego victories anymore. You want heart-centered victories. You want to be that star energy. You want to be in the light. And I think you're just trusting Spirit to guide your process into your own happiness, into your own life transforming, which will bring you to your reconciliation. So I do think that there's a lot of potential for people to have some big transformation over these next few weeks and months. They do have the Page of Cups come in here, so you may have somebody new coming in for love as well, or you may be getting ready to make some sort of offer somewhere that's kind of just immature. It's not like the full-on love that you may have for your masculine, but I feel like some of you are kind of fed up and you don't want to wait anymore for love, so you may be making actions or, getting ready to offer something somewhere else. So we have the Justice coming out again. So I do think that regardless of who you are and what you're doing, justice will be served in your life. The actions that you're taking are leading to balancing the scales that have been there for karma. So you're actually breaking out of the energy that has kept you stuck within your mind, so that you can do, the work in the physical within your partnership to put a death to anything that's been toxic, to put a death to the thoughts that have been back and forth, and to pursue the passion inside of you for your masculine, for your higher level commitment to your spiritual nature and to your work. And you're just taking that commitment to yourself to overcome the sneaky behaviors of others, the sneaky behaviors or the thoughts in your head that tell you that you're not good enough, laying down any burdens that you've had, and meditating and just slowly pushing yourself towards your passionate new beginning in life. Alright, so let's see if Divine Masculine has anything to say. Divine Feminine. We will be together again. I don't know if I can meet your expectations. So they know I feel like they know that you guys will be together again, but I feel like right now they don't know if they can meet your expectations because of the stuff they're still holding on to. But they do still love you, and they do want to be with you. And I feel like some of them, this is those who are still stuck in toxic things. This may be them saying, I don't know if I can meet your expectations right now, but we will be together again, and I do love you. So in the future, they'll probably get rid of this energy. It's like they're working on being able to meet the expectations of themselves and of what you deserve. I don't think that it's more like I think you would accept them either way, like you love them either way, but whatever they're in, Yeah, look at that. Would you reject me? Whatever they're in, you probably would reject them, but it's not that you don't love them. It's just that you don't love the situation that they're in or what it's going to do to your emotions. But they do know that if they overcome that stuff, that you will be together again, and that they still love you, and that I think at their core they know that you love them, and that you wouldn't really reject them as long as they got rid of the stuff that's not up to your expectations. Like if they're still married or they're still, having sex with every person on the block, like you'd be like, yeah, well, that's not okay, so I don't think I want to be a part of that. But yes, I do love you, and I would like to be with you when you stop doing those things. So, there's positive energy coming in. Things are changing. I do feel like passionate new beginnings are on masculine's mind. I've seen the Ace of Wands like 100 times over the past couple of days. So, their heart is telling them to do it. They're finding that the grass wasn't greener on the other side if they did leave you for a karmic, or if they're married or whatever, if there's just been separation between the two of you, whatever has separated or ended between you guys, they realize that that's not better. They do miss you, and the connection still affects them. So I do think that you'll be hearing from some of them at some point. And this person is saying, I got spooked. So if you guys came together and then they ghosted you, or they kind of just disappeared, they probably just got scared by the intensity of what they feel. And then your beauty still moves me. So again, there's that desire to be with you passionately. Like they're just drawn to you. There's something about you that they can't get rid of, that like nobody else compares to. So whatever's going on in their life, just know that they miss you regardless of what it looks like, and that they are thinking about you a lot. So let me see if there's any other message that wants to come through, like for their energy with their chakras. We have acceptance and dissipating. So I feel like whatever has been toxic that's been holding them from being in their power is dissipating, because this is solar plexus energy. So they're starting to find the power in themselves to dissipate anything that's been toxic, negative, holding them back from feeling empowered and confident. And then down here with the acceptance, it's like some of them are coming into this place of acceptance. And this can be for both of you, okay? Like I feel like divine feminine, divine masculine, whatever's been toxic, you're letting it go so you can become more empowered. And with the acceptance energy, it's like you're finally accepting, wherever you're at, you're accepting that you're the creator of your reality. You're accepting this presence of spirit in your life. You're just kind of letting go of the feelings of being isolated. You're aligning with your truth and your inner faith. You're opening your third eye. You're actually starting to practice gratitude for the growth that you've acquired through the journey, even if you're not in union, and even if there's been, a lot of hard things to deal with. You're realizing that all helped you to become a better person. It's given birth to this new transformation within you, to overcome insecurities and to work on that self-worth, so that you can actually come into a time of completion with your masculine or your feminine. And you're seeing through the facade, you're seeing through the illusion that, maybe your person was giving to you. That facade is starting to dissipate. You're accepting where you are on the journey. You're accepting your truth. Even though you're maybe alone, you're like, this is where I'm meant to be. You're having faith and gratitude for where you are, and that's actually helping you to release what has been keeping you in separation, so that you can heal the grief surrounding rejection that you may have felt when they left you. Feeling that energy of complacency because you're not getting what you want in that moment. I do feel like some of you may be doing things that are trying to like overcome like the feeling of this energy, like this grief and stuff. So if you've been like a workaholic, or you've been just trying to fill up your time with other things, try to pull yourself back and focus on the growth within your heart, and know that things that are destined for you will come. You don't have to throw yourself into other things, because when you do that, you just kind of push destiny further away. When you don't go within and focus on what needs to be healed in the moment, you're just like prolonging the inevitable by avoiding, the impasse that you may be within, which is usually energetic imbalances and karmic contracts. And we all have our own role to play in separation. There's always a reason on both ends. It's not just because they don't like you, or it's not just because they want to be a player, or just because of this, or just because of that. There's usually energetic blockages and in healing that needs to be done. And when we, don't do the healing, it just creates this impasse within our relationship. And yes, it may be destined, but if we don't do the healing work that we're destined to do, we don't do the growth that we're required to do, and we just throw ourselves into other things, or we become complacent and give up, we just hold that grief in our heart, and we don't grow. So really, Spirit's saying, trust within the faith, release what is holding you back from your joy, so that you can recover this connection, and you can recover the parts of your soul that are within this other person, so that you don't have to be in isolation anymore. Accept that part of it, is each of yours individually, that you need to work on, so that you can dissipate anything that's holding you back. And don't focus on the rejection, focus on the gratitude, so more positive things come to you. Start to see through the illusions of the ego, start to see through the illusions of the third dimension, and that's going to bring you closer and closer to a place of completion in alignment with your worth, and overcoming the insecurities that have been triggered by the people that you're on the connection with, which is what they were meant to do, which can be confusing, and it can cause impatience, and it can trick our hearts. But there's a higher purpose, there's a higher divine reasoning for all of it, and in the end it's all perfect, and it does help us to expand and to attract abundance and to persevere. This is a journey of discovery, so just keep doing the work that you're called to do, and don't give up. Follow your instincts and things like that, but don't give up on yourself and your growth, and don't try to distract yourself from your growth, because then that's just going to keep you further and further away from manifesting the alignment with your soulmate. And we all have a part to play, so just know that whatever we're looking at, or whatever we're focusing on and feeling, is what we're creating. So if you don't want to create more separation, or you don't want to create more energy in your life that's not feeling aligned or happy, just keep trying to forgive and heal and grow. Release any energy of being a victim here, because I know it's hard. Like, believe me, I know I've been hurt a lot, and it feels like at times like it would be easier to just be a victim. But if we stay in the victim energy, we'll never have that renewal. We'll never get to what we want. So there is things on both parts that need to be healed, so that we can balance and that we can come into union. So just know that this cycle that we're in right now is a big one of transformation, and it is leading to a renewal. So I hope that this assists you. If it did, hit the like. If it didn't, hit the dislike. Either way, it helps me out. If you would like to donate, there's a link down below. If you'd like to send a deck, there's an Amazon wish list. If you want a private reading or any other type of service, they're listed down below. Again, I am on a 2-week wait for everything that I offer, so just know before you message me that it will be at least 2 weeks before I can get you on the books. So thank you very much, everybody. In Mune, namaste.